video, we are going to search a 2D matrix where they have given a 2D matrix and a target integer. We have to find whether the target element is present in the 2D matrix or not. For that, they have given the each row in the matrix is sorted in non-descending order, which means ascending order. And then the first integer of every row is greater than the last integers of previous row. The first, suppose if you take 10, the first integer of every row will be greater than the previous index of the last index. And then return true if the target is exists in the matrix, else false. We have to do this program in order of m into n time complexity. For that, I'm going to do this using binary search. How will you do in binary search? We'll have an array and we'll just traverse that array, right? We'll have start pointer, end pointer, and we'll find mid value. If the mid is greater or less, if it is the mid is equal to target, we'll return the element. And if it is lesser, means based on the uh, condition. If it is lesser, means we'll move if it is lesser, means we'll move the start pointer to mid plus 1. If it is greater, means we'll move the end pointer to mid minus 1, right? This is how we'll do, right? But we have not done using 2D matrix and all. So now we are going to uh, convert this 2D matrix into uh, one dimensional matrix, which means what? This matrix I'm just converting into one array, right? So for that, what we have to know, how many elements present in this 2D matrix, right? Which means what? How many rows and how many columns were present in the array. If you know that, row into column will be the number of elements present in the array. For that, how will you find? So row is equal to len of matrix. This is how will you find row. And column, how will you find? Matrix, len of matrix of 0. If you find the first array's length, means then you will find number of columns present in the uh, 2D matrix, right? The number of columns present in the row, right? Now with this, how will you find how many elements present in the uh, array? So for that, I'll name it as element number is, how will you find? Row into column minus 1. Why I'm doing minus 1? If you take this 2D array, so we have 3 rows and 4 elements, right? 4 into 3, which is 12. But we'll start the index from 0. So if you start the index from 0, means uh, the last element is 12, right? So row into column minus 1, which will be the length of number of elements in the array, right? Now what we are going to do is, with this we are going to have a start pointer. What is the start pointer? So the start pointer will be 0 and end pointer will be what? Row into column minus 1, which is the number of elements in the row, right? So now the start pointer will be here and the end pointer will be here. As usual, whatever we do in binary search, from start pointer and end pointer, you have to find the mid value. How will you find mid value? To find mid value, mid is equal to s plus start index plus a start index plus end index divided by 2, which is the mid value, right? So now we have find the mid value. With this mid value, we are going to check if it is equal to target or not. So in this case, how will just the start index will be 0 and the end index will be 11. So how the mid index will be what? 0, 0 plus 11, which is what? 11. 11 divided by 2, 11 by divided by 2, which is 5, right? So the mid is now 5. So the fifth index value is what? 11. But we are having, we are converting, we are searching as one dimensional array, right? So the input is two dimensional array. So if it is 2D array, how will you find the 11 is present here? For that, we have to know in which row and in that row which column, right? For that, how will you find? We can find using many ways. The one way is the current row. I name it as R. The current row, the mid divided by integer division by the column, which is what is the mid value? The mid value is 5. 5 integer division by 4, which is 1, right? In the first row we have find the, now we have find the row. Now we have to find the, in that row which column it is, right? So for that, the mid modulo by the column, which is the column is what? Number of columns, right? So call, we have find already above here, right? So with that, how will you find 5? Same, modulo by 4 is what? 1. So the answer is what? In this 11th, so in the first row, first index is the current value, right? So with this, we have find the where the value is present in the 2D array. Now, if it, we have to check it is equal to target or not. If it is equal means we have to return that array, return true. If it is not equal, it is lesser than the target number means what you have to do? Lesser than the target number means we have to move forward, right? So what you have to do? The start pointer should be mid plus 1, where we have to start from the 16, right? If you take here, the mid value is 5. If it is 5, the corresponding value is 11. 11 is lesser than the target number. So we have to move, so then the target number is in between 6 to 11, right? So 6th index to 11th index, from between 11th index, right? So we have to check here only, right? For that, the start index will be moving to mid plus 1. If it is greater means what we have to do? We have to move the end index mid minus 1. So this is how we will keep on doing, and we'll find a target is present here or not. So for that, we'll just try to code here. So first thing what we have to find? We have to find the target row and column. So how many rows are there? How many columns are there? For that, len of matrix, which will give the number of rows present in the 2D array, and then to find column, which is len of matrix of 0, right? Then we have to have a start pointer and an end pointer, which will be row into column minus 1. So while s should be less than equal to e, till we are going to loop over this, and for every time we are going to find a mid value, which is start plus e divided by 2. Now with this mid we have to find which corresponding row, and in that row which corresponding column it is presented. So for that, row, or I will name it as R, is equal to the current mid integer division by 2 and the current mids modulo by, sorry, here 2, not the number of columns present here. We have find already here, right? With that, and the current mid moduloed by the column. So with this we can find if matrix matrix of row and row of column is equal to target, means what we have to do, we have to return true. Else, if matrix of row of column is greater, this value is greater, means what you have to do, so if it is greater means the current value is greater than target, means current value is greater means we have to end is equal to mid minus 1, right? Current value is greater means end is equal to mid minus 1, else start is equal to mid plus 1. At last, if we have not found any target, we have to return false. So if you see here, all the sample test cases are passed and the test cases are passed. Okay, so this is a simple logic where we can find a target element is present in the 2D matrix, which is in order of log of m into n time complexity.